All right, it's March 18th, 2018. Welcome This Week at Vorshlag. Let's go take a look around the shop, see what's going on. All right, we have 3 BMW LS swaps going on at the moment. Above me, we have an E36 LS swap that's just back for some maintenance work. It had a clutch problem, so we're just doing some repair work on that. This black one is the right-hand drive E36. The prototype headers have been done for about 6 weeks. We're waiting for the first production headers. We should hear something soon. They've been kind of slow to start, and that's slowing our FRS header development, which we thought this would be done in January. So we'll have the FRS in here probably the end of this week finally, so we can do that header. Okay, this is an Evo 10. We're doing a full roll cage and several other safety upgrades for a customer. It came in here as a street car, and it's leaving as a wheel-to-wheel race car. So the roll cage on this car was pretty tricky. The front to rear door opening is massive, and on these 4-door cars. So it took some trickiness and actually a rule change in the NASA CCR, but they allowed it to pierce and actually notch the V-pillar. So we have 3 door bars on each side. There are several verticals that are on the other side we're working on here. FIAs, diagonals, there's just bars everywhere. But it's a big, giant open box. We're trying to close it up. All right, you can see on this side we have the 3 door bars, the upper, the middle, and there's a lower one there as well. And then verticals for the NASCAR style bar. It gives us over a foot between the bar and the actual seat itself, so the driver will have plenty of room. We also made a brand new seat bracket that lowered the seat about 6 inches, and we actually raised, it had a 4-point roll bar before it, we raised the upper tube about 3 inches because before the top of his helmet was above the top of the bar, which is a big no-no. So now it's got a proper roll cage that fits really closely to the roof line, and there's a carbon roof skin that goes in. In the back, there's another tube that goes from this point across and from this point across. That'll go in at final welding. He's just got literally 2 little tubes here to do, and it's ready to go to final welding. So here we have Project Rampage. It's a C6 Z06 we're building for me. Aluminum frame chassis we got. It was kind of in pieces. We've found some front fenders from a ZR1, front nose from a Grand Sport. It was missing a bunch of structure, so we actually lopped off the frame tubes and all, so we can't use a lot of the factory bumper pieces, so we're going to have to build our own bits and pieces under here to mount this nose. But the body's almost together. Hood, everything else is here. It doesn't look like much, but this will be a fun one we'll be working on in 2018. 69 Camaro. We've been doing a lot of work on this for a little while. We only work on this about 4 days a month. It's just part of our scheduling agreement with the customer, and we're down to wiring and plumbing, so we're at the last few steps. Complete chassis harnesses are always fun. This is a painless wiring harness. It looks like a mess right now, but there's a lot of work behind the dash. It's all bundled up, and all the relays and fuses, and we're getting ready to put some gauges in here. So yeah, getting to the final steps. We got our final punch list here, and we're just working through it. A lot of people ask why we put the wings up so high and so far back. It does actually give you better aero. It puts the wing in a better place as far as cleaner air. You don't have dirty, turbulent air behind the greenhouse of the car. So as far up and as far back as you can get, it works well. The other advantage is simple. It's practical. When you swing the trunk up, if you have a functional trunk like we like to keep, the wing no longer is in the way of the roof. You can get full extension. And that way we can get to things in the trunk. So we actually have several things going on in the trunk here. The shock reservoirs are here, so the compression adjusters, the rebound adjusters are on the top of the shocks. We've upgraded to a Mark 60 ABS. Club Racing Harnesses made us a harness, and we've relocated that in the trunk. And Ryan's busy plumbing the whole car over for this system, and go to the power brake, big brake kit all the way around. So we're down to, again, plumbing and wiring. This one's accelerating a little quicker because we're working on this about 3 weeks out of the month, and we'll be wrapped up soon. So Ryan's been doing, again, a full chassis wiring on this car and a Motec M150 custom harness that G-Speed built for us. That's already mounted. We're ready to flash that thing, and after a few more plumbing things, we should be ready to fire this up, I hope, next week. We're just at the final hour, the last little bit of checklist items. As rough as it looks, we're going to get it on track without paint, and we'll make sure everything clears. We don't have any rubbing or any modifications we have to make. And then once we do a quick track test and a dyno tune, we'll get the car blown apart and we'll go back for paint. We'll do the same thing on the 69 Camaro. Yeah, the engine bay it looks a little cluttered right now. It's just wrapping up. Ryan's been doing the G-speed harness for the engine bay and wrapping up. There's another airbox that goes here. There's also a big giant splitter. That's why the front of the nose is off. It's already been mocked up. It'll be cut in aluminum, and we'll make the front wheel spats here. But the brake duct thing, the oil coolers, all that's in and plumbed. That's even got, you know, horns for some very limited street use. Fuel system's ready to go. Just a few more oil lines to go. All right, Project Dangerzone. We haven't really been pushing this real hard. We've just been backed up in the shop. There was a couple of things that one of the potential buyers found, and I wanted the car to be perfect before it left. So we changed all the wheel bearings, ball joints, anything that was worn, we changed. So now the car is brand new, ready to go. It's ready to, literally, you could roll it out to a track right now. It's not street legal, but it's fully caged, wheel-to-wheel legal. And we think someone in like AER or WRL series or Champ car might want this car. So we put some brand new 275 Falcons on it, and it should be a pretty fun car for somebody. We'll probably put it on Bring a Trailer soon, and you can put your bids in there. E92 M3. So this car was caged by another shop, and the guy sold it to somebody in Michigan who is our customer. He shipped it to here, and we've replaced a lot of bent, broken, missing pieces. We put on this carbon front lower lip so that we could have real brake ducts, which we built some custom inlet ducts and brake backing plates inlets for his Stop Tech trophy kit. We've got a whole slew of CSF cooler upgrades for 4 different coolers in the car. They're going on this week. There's a giant splitter that sticks out about 8 inches all the way around with big wheel spats. That's at the powder coater. It should look really nice. I'll post some pictures in here of what it looks like. One of the nicest mods we did on this car was the American Racing long tube headers and dual 3-inch exhaust. We had to trim the factory under tray to clear the long tubes, but it was worth the work. Should add a lot of power and torque. This is our E46 330 Coupe. We raced for the 2016 and 17 seasons, almost exclusively in TTD. We ran it for one event in TT4 at the end of the 17 season. We won the TTD Texas Region Championship twice, and even won our 2 events in TT4. Had a lot of fun. At the end of the season, they made a bunch of changes to the rules. There's 4 different rule changes they made for TT4, and all 4 affected us. And so while the car was in paint, it was after they already made the rule changes. We were getting ready for the 18 season. We decided to punt, and we're going to sell this car. We went out and bought a 2018 Mustang, which we're using for development, and we're just not going to worry about NASA time trial this year because they got to have some rule stability before we build for their classes again. As we were cleaning the car up this week, Brad did a great job cleaning up the engine bay. Got the car all painted up. We were taking pictures and getting the car ready. We powder coated the splitter and the rear wing uprights. Got everything cleaned up inside and out. And before we even got a chance to post the pictures, a customer came through, saw the car, took a test drive, bought it on the spot. So we probably priced it too low, but we've got another one we're going to build, a wide body. It's a real wide body version that we'll make a full race car out of. This was kind of a tweener car, still had AC and roll-up windows and some things. So this new car has carbon doors, carbon roof, and some other bits and pieces. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll build that sometime in 2018 to run it next year with some different engines we're building at Horsepower Research. All right, the CNC room is the cleanest room in the whole shop. Tim does a great job keeping it clean. He's got a new roll bar for his NC MX-5 he's going to put in and do some track events soon. But he's been busy back here. We've been making 5th-gen Camaro camber plates. It's a 2-piece deal because there's no holes in the strut tower. These sell surprisingly well, even though there's a lot of competitors out there. People seem to like the way ours adjusts, and it's a little bit easier to adjust. And of course, the S550 camber plates, we sell a ton of these to the 15 and up Mustang guys, and especially this Shelby GT350 guys. Super easy to adjust camber, has caster adjustment. It's like the first mod most of these guys do.
And girls.
And girls. Thanks, Amy. On the lathe, he's been making some new ride height adjusters for the Focus RS and the S550 Mustang. We also have a lot of other designs we're making as well. This video ran a little bit long. I was going to talk about our 2018 Mustang, which we're doing a lot of work to. Don't have time. We'll talk about another one. We had an Audi R8 in here. We did some racing seats and a harness bar we're going to make into production. Don't have time to talk about it. Had an Indy Miata in here. Don't have time to talk about it. We had a wide body FRS. The video is just too long. I could talk all day. Just in the last week, we've had a lot of really cool cars in here, and we need to make some more room. We're working on construction of our new building so we can get more cars and have more work go through the shop instead of getting bottlenecked just by space. So we'll be moving in June, so keep an eye out for that. And thanks for checking in this week at Vorshlag.